Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I want to come on here and talk about this really disturbing story. I really struggled all day with this story. I really did not want to cover it, but I have been getting so many requests to do this story, and I had been looking into the story just for my own personal, knowledge of the story. But I finally decided to just go ahead and put this video together and kind of break down how I feel about this entire situation. The story that I'm talking about is the story that took place in Mississippi. It's concerning 6-year-old Kingston Frazier and his mother, Ebony Archer. This story is just extremely disturbing. It just made me sick to my stomach, especially knowing that this 6-year-old boy lost his life for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I want you guys to go ahead and watch this first news clip. I want you guys to listen to what they have to say about the situation. Check this out. I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
And disbelief. That's how many people are reacting to the kidnapping and killing of a Jackson 6-year-old.
That's just senseless, heartbreaking.
I cried. Everybody in my office was upset.
I think it's terrible, terrible. I don't see how people can do that to kids like that.
Hinds County deputies say somebody stole a Toyota Camry from the Kroger on I-55 in Jackson around 2 Thursday morning. 6-year-old Kingston Frazier was inside.
Some people were angry, some people were crying. I think it kind of hit everybody.
It was a couple of hours later before authorities issued an Amber Alert with a description of the child and the car he was in.
I think everybody on their way to work was looking for that vehicle.
Around 9:30 Thursday morning, investigators found the boy's body in the car on Gluckstadt Road. He had been shot to death.
This is the worst day of my career, my 17-year career.
3 teens are now facing capital murder charges in connection with the crime. 19-year-old Byron McBride, along with Dwan Wakefield and DeAllen Washington, are being held in the Madison County Detention Center. We've learned that Wakefield was quarterback at Ridgeland High School football team.
And it's just a call out for all mothers and families. We just got to watch our babies closely.
Mayor Tony Yarber said in a statement, "It's important that we express and assure that as a city, there is no tolerance on any level for acts of violence against children."
Just praying for their families and everything, hoping that.
All right, so you guys just watched that news clip, which kind of basically told what was going on. So like I said, I've been kind of researching this story and just trying to get a feel for what the hell happened in this situation. A lot of people online stating a lot of things. A lot of people online are very upset. There's a lot of controversy right now behind this case. And I'm going to put on my tin hat for a minute, okay? Because I don't know. Something about this story just is not sitting well with my spirit. And maybe I'm reading too deep into this. Maybe I'm too much of a conspiracy theorist. But something about this story just stinks, okay? So this woman, the mother of 6-year-old Kingston Frazier, says that she had to go to the store at 1:30 in the morning. That right there does not sit well with me, okay? There's nothing that you need at 1:30 in the morning that you have to drag your son out of his bed. Because at 1:30 in the morning, he should be in bed sleep because he should have school the next morning. So it makes no sense to wake this child up, to put him in a car, and then go to Kroger's. So the second thing that does not sit well with my spirit is the fact that your son is in the backseat of this car, and instead of taking him with you into the store, because mind you, you just took him out of bed, out of his warm, comfortable bed. You just took him out of bed, drug him out the house, put him in the car, and then drove to the store. What difference would it have made if you would have just put him in the shopping cart and took him in the store with you? You already drug him out of bed. You might as well have taken him into the store. Okay, so she doesn't do that. She leaves him in the car. And on top of that, she leaves the car running. It just doesn't make any sense to me, you guys. It just doesn't. I don't understand how a mother leaves a child in the car with the car running. That's an invitation for anybody to just walk up and take your car. It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, if you want to leave the child in the car, why would you not lock the car door and keep the keys with you? That's what most parents would have done. Well, most parents, for the most part, wouldn't have left their damn 6-year-old in the car at 1:30 in the morning. That's what most parents know not to do. But being that she chose to do this, I don't understand the point of her leaving the keys in the car with the car running. That just doesn't make sense to me. When you peep the Amber Alert, what this child was wearing is not sitting well with me. They said that Kingston is described as a black male, 3.9 inches tall, approximately weighing 40 pounds. He has black curly hair and brown eyes. Last seen wearing a white tank top, khaki pants, and black and gold Jordans. I'm trying to figure out if it's 1:30 in the morning, why is this child wearing heavy khaki pants? At 1:30 in the morning, should he have not been in pajamas? Should he have not had slippers on his feet? Hell, if she was taking him out of the bed because he was asleep in bed, it wouldn't have made any sense to put shoes on him anyway. Because what she would have done is just placed him in the car and then placed him in the shopping cart to take him into the store. So he really didn't have to walk because he was sleeping anyway. And the fact that he had on all this clothing, khaki pants and black Jordans, that makes me feel like, well, did he go to bed that night? Did she pick him up from somewhere else? Why is he dressed like he just left school as opposed to getting out the bed at 1:30 in the morning? So that Amber Alert, what he was last seen in, is not sitting well with me either. So to me, like I said, something just does not seem right. For a mother to leave her 6-year-old child in the car at 1:30 in the morning, she's telling the news media that she just ran in to get some medicine, but now they're saying that that mother was in that store for upwards of an hour. There's nothing that you need in the store. There's nothing that you need to get that should take you an hour to go get when you know that you have a child sitting out in the car with the car running. Another thing that does not sit well with me is that these 3 boys that were caught doing this heinous crime, their names are 19-year-old Byron McBride, 17-year-old D'Allen Washington, and 17-year-old DeJuan Denario Wakefield. Instead of dropping this child off or even realizing he's in the back of the car's running. Before most car thieves jump into a car, they look at the car, they look in the car. You know what I'm saying? They tend to scope things out to see if the car is even worth the trouble of taking. So I'm sure one of the 3 of them, between their damn 6 set of eyes, saw that baby back there. They could have easily put the baby on the dang on street and drove off. They could have dropped the baby off up the street and left it at that. Instead, these 3 young guys choose to kill a 6-year-old child over what? This wasn't a Maserati. This wasn't a Rolls Royce. This is a 2000 Toyota Camry. I understand teens do stupid shit. They might go joyriding. They see, some keys in the car. Teens have been known to just jump into cars and drive off. Why would they go from auto theft to kidnapping to capital murder? I mean, this just doesn't make any sense to me. This is some evil ass shit. For these young men to think that it was okay to take this 6-year-old child's life is just crazy to me. This is some of the most wickedest stuff I've heard in a long time. And let's also not forget the fact that there was not 1, not 2, but 3 teens in this car with this baby. So it's not like 2 of them lapped up. Somebody obviously sat back there with the child. Whoever got back there knew the child was back there, and I'm sure he alerted the other guys that there was a child back there. So all they had to do was just take the baby out the car and keep it moving. These 3 boys are straight up evil. As upset as I am with the mother and the decisions that she made that played a role in this situation, the majority of the blame does go on these 3 individuals. This entire situation is just sickening to know that these 3 young men who aren't even adults yet. One is a football player at the local high school. For them to get caught up in this, for them to not look at that boy and see themselves in that boy says a whole lot. I'm telling you, it's like this world is just getting more and more evil by the day. How do you see a child in the back seat of a car that you're still in? You don't think to yourself, either A, I'm not going to touch the car because there's a kid in here, or okay, fine, we're going to take the car, we're going to leave the kid out here. Instead, you guys choose to take this little boy's life. He had his entire life ahead of him, and it was snuffed out over what? This is just so sickening to me. This young boy was supposed to be graduating from kindergarten today. But unfortunately, he's not going to be graduating from kindergarten because he's sitting in somebody's morgue because of these 3 idiots and because of the choices that his mother made. This is just real disturbing. I want y'all to go ahead and check out these updated news clips. Check this out. I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
Kill my son, man! Words no father ever wants to say. But words this father can't stop saying.
They shot him, bro. Man, they shot my boy, man. They killed my boy, man.
6-year-old Kingston Frazier discovered dead with a single gunshot wound in the back of his mom's stolen car more than 6 hours after his abduction.
You took a child, a 6-year-old little boy, and killed him when you could have just dropped him off.
The little boy's aunt tells us how his mother ran into this Kroger around 1:30 Thursday morning to grab some medication. When she came out, she told deputies her car was gone. But deputies say she didn't mention initially her son was gone with it.
He's dead, and you don't know what it feels like. I went from the day he was born. Just to say that is just gut-wrenching.
Authorities spent the day searching and arrested 3 men they say are responsible. D'Allen Washington, Byron McBride, and DeJuan Wakefield, who we've learned is a football player at Ridgeland High School.
My son innocent.
Wearing a bulletproof vest, he says because of the numerous threats his family has received, DeJuan Wakefield Sr. proclaims his son's innocence.
No, I didn't raise him like that. I know my son. I don't know what type of peer pressure he was under or what's going on, but I know my son.
Wakefield's father offered condolences to Kingston Frazier's family, some of whom he says he knows. Right now, the Kingston family just wants justice.
They will pay for this.
If you could say to them, what would you say to them?
You are going to die.
All right, so you guys just saw those news clips. You guys just saw the father of Kingston. You know, he's gone crazy. The auntie's gone crazy. My heart goes out to this family. I definitely feel bad for them. Nobody deserves to go through anything like this. And then you also saw one of the perpetrators' father. You know, he's out there with a bulletproof vest on because he's scared he might get killed. You know, but he's saying that his son did not have anything to do with this. You know, I don't even know what to think. This whole story just sounds crazy as hell. Like you couldn't make this shit up. This is not normal behavior of a responsible mother. As a responsible person, you put your babies before any damn thing. And I don't understand how she thought it was okay to leave this baby in the car with the car running at 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, this whole situation is it's just insane. It just boggles my mind as to, you know, what really went down here. You know, this is just really, really sad. This is a school night. There was no reason for her to be out at 1:30 in the morning, let alone him be out at 1:30 in the morning. He needed to be in bed like all the other kids in his class. There's nothing that important. You got to get up out of bed at 1:30 in the morning and risk taking your child out there. Unless it's an emergency, there's no reason to drag a child out at that time. And especially in that manner, and especially leave the keys in the car with the ignition running. It just does not make sense. Maybe I'm reading too deep into this, y'all. You know, like I said, at the end of the day, this child is dead. So my heart definitely goes out to the family. But I have to ask some real questions. I have to be very honest in my assessment. I can't just sit here and say I feel bad for this woman because she lost her child. Yes, I feel extremely bad for her for that. But I have to also keep it real. She also shares some of that responsibility in this happening. There's just certain things you don't do. So I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. Let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Let me know what you guys think about this story. Do you feel like I'm going crazy? Or do you feel like, you know what, T, you're making some valid points? There's some things that's just not sitting right with this. You know, my heart goes out to this family, but I got to ask some real questions. This should have never happened. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. All right. Deuces. Hey you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.